Today, we are diving into a totally new kind of artificial intelligence. This isn't just about crunching numbers. We're talking about an AI that's built to work like an entire research company, all to solve one of the biggest problems in modern medicine. So let's start with a really tough number. 90%. That's the failure rate for new drugs that enter clinical trials. Seriously, think about that. 9 out of every 10 drugs that seem promising in a lab, they will never, ever reach a patient.
And the price tag for those few that do make it, it's just staggering. To bring a single new drug from an idea to the pharmacy shelf can cost way over $1 billion.
And as if that wasn't enough, the whole process is unbelievably slow. We're talking more than a decade of work, from that initial light bulb moment all the way to the clinic.
So when you put all that together, you're looking at $1 billion, decade-long problem that has a 90% chance of ending in failure. This is the huge wall that modern medicine is constantly running up against. But why? Why is it so incredibly hard?
Well, it's kind of like a perfect storm of challenges. You've got scientific data that's scattered all over the place, and the experts who understand it are often in different teams that don't talk to each other, so you get these silos. And trying to piece together conflicting bits of evidence is a nightmare, especially now that we're dealing with just an unbelievable explosion of biological data.
So how in the world do you solve a problem that's all about fragmentation and massive scale? Well, a team of researchers at Stanford had this really brilliant idea. What if you built an AI that actually mimics a real biotech company? A whole coordinated team of AI agents, all designed to work together.
And this is exactly what they built. So the Virtual Biotech isn't one single AI brain. No, it's a multi-agent system. The best way to think about it is like a whole team of AIs, where each one has a specific job, and they all work together to crack these really complex scientific questions, just like a human research company would.
Okay, so here's how it actually works. It starts when a human scientist just asks a question. That question goes to an AI that acts as the chief scientific officer, or CSO. It's the boss. It comes up with a whole research plan and then starts handing out assignments to its team of specialist AI scientists. You got an AI expert in genetics, another one in single-cell biology, and so on. They go out, they gather the data, and then the whole AI team collaborates to put together one final evidence-based report.
Okay, so the theory sounds amazing, right? But does it actually work in the real world? Well, let's dive into its first big test case. The researchers gave the Virtual Biotech a gigantic real-world dataset and a pretty critical mission.
And this was no small task. The mission was to chew through the data from almost 56,000 clinical trials to see if it could find a hidden pattern, some new clue that could help predict which drugs were actually going to work. I mean, that's a monumental job for any human team.
And this image right here, it just perfectly shows you the problem they're trying to solve. They call it the leaky pipeline of drug development. You see thousands of potential drugs starting out in phase 1, but as you move to the right, that pipeline just gets thinner and thinner. Only a tiny fraction make it all the way to the end. Most are just lost along the way.
So that leads to the big central question, right? You have to wonder, what if there's a clue, something buried deep in all that data, that could help us plug some of those leaks? A little signal that could tell us, way earlier, which drugs have the best shot at making it.
Incredibly, the AI found something. After churning through all of that data, it surfaced a really powerful new predictor, something called cell type specificity.
And what you're looking at here is the proof. In simple terms, what the AI figured out is that drugs that target genes found in very specific types of cells, instead of genes that are, expressed all over the body, those drugs are way more likely to succeed and have fewer nasty side effects. It's all about precision.
And we're not talking about small improvements here. The numbers are just wow. The AI discovered that these highly specific drugs were 48% more likely to actually reach the market. They were 40% more likely to pass those critical phase 1 safety trials, and they led to 32% fewer bad side effects. I mean, that's a game-changing advantage.
Okay, so the AI is great at finding patterns in these huge data sets, but can it do real, deep investigative science? For its next test, the team gave it a brand new mission. Investigate a potential drug target for lung cancer. And this is a true scientific detective story.
So the story begins with the AI genetics agent. Right away, it finds only a weak genetic link for this target, called B7-3. Now, a human might stop there, but the AI actually reasons, hey, wait a minute. For this kind of cancer target, it's not about the genes you inherit. It's about how that gene is behaving inside the tumor itself.
And this is where things get really interesting. The AI single-cell agent jumps in. It starts analyzing the tumor cell by cell, and it makes this critical discovery. The target, B7H3, isn't just on the cancer cells. It's really highly expressed on the cells that support the tumor, these things called cancer-associated fibroblasts, or CAFs.
Now this is the aha moment. This is where the AI really connects all the dots. Another agent looks at the physical layout of the tumor and realizes that these support cells, the CAFs, are basically acting like bodyguards. They're building a physical barrier, a protective little niche that literally hides the tumor from your body's own immune system.
So, after putting all of these clues together, the weak genetics, the discovery on the support cells, and this immune hiding barrier, the Virtual Biotech team delivers its final recommendation. It concludes the best strategy is to attack B7H3 with a special kind of therapeutic, basically a smart bomb, called an antibody-drug conjugate, or ADC.
Okay, get ready for the craziest part of this whole story. This is the big reveal. The AI's knowledge of the world was cut off in January 2025. It finished its analysis in February 2026. But something happened in between those dates, out in the real world. In August 2025, the actual FDA granted breakthrough therapy designation to a real-life B7H3 ADC. The AI independently came up with a strategy that was being proven right in the real world at the exact same time, and it had no way of knowing.
So when you step back and look at this, you realize this is so much more than just a faster way to look at data. The implications here for how we do science, they're just profound.
So what does this all really mean? Well, first, AI isn't just a tool anymore. It can actually be a teammate, a coordinated research team. It's now capable of finding these totally new patterns, like cell type specificity, in a vast ocean of data. And it can weave together all these different threads of evidence, from genetics to spatial biology, into one single compelling story. This could make science so much faster, cheaper, and even more transparent.
This just fundamentally changes the game. It opens up this incredible possibility of human scientists working side by side with these powerful AI research teams. And it leaves us with one massive, really exciting final question. If we have collaborators like this now, what other great scientific mysteries are we on the verge of solving next?